Hey everyone, this is Zane here, back again hosting Soccer World Fan TV reactions. The reactions for this game are gonna be the Liverpool versus Manchester City that we just witnessed. And first up, we have Thivian with us, a Liverpool fan, and obviously you can tell by his reaction he doesn't look very happy. So I'm just gonna let him start off. Thivian, your thoughts on the game?
First and foremost, three in a row losing at Anfield. What else? I mean, if we didn't score that penalty, technically speaking, we haven't scored this year either at Anfield. Man City, for the first time since I believe 2003, they won at Anfield. So many records, bad records being broken on the night. Um, how can I explain it? Look, when we came into this game in the first place, we were considered not favorites. Now, if you told that last season when we were on top, um, you would think it's ridiculous because it's at Anfield, but different season, different mentality of the players and personnel, and we weren't genuinely not in the fight, to be honest. I mean, in the first half, we done pretty well for ourselves, creating chances. Of course, they did have the penalty, but Gundogan skied it. But the mentality that the Man City players showed in the second half, and look, I'll give credit when credit's due. They were up for it. They scored a goal, pretty good goal on our end. And then we responded back with the penalty. Good cross from Trent. Salah buried it. But then, obviously, and I'll put Alisson on the COSH tonight. He was poor in that spell. Again, like the distribution was really poor, and for a goalkeeper of his caliber, he should be doing better on the night. Now, does it mean that okay, this is going to be the be all and end all for him? No. I mean, we've seen many other goalkeepers that have squandered, but he was at fault for it on the night. And look, like I said before, we were not favorites on the night to win this. But realistically, there's a way of losing games, and today was not it.
I mean, I hear you, bro. I can feel the sadness in your voice. And before I highlight any of the events in the game, I just want to speak about Alisson for a bit. And do you think that, with certain ball playing goalkeepers, you see him, Ederson, they're very good on the ball. They make very good passes under pressure. Do you think that there's a bit of a stubbornness to them in the way that they made a mistake he made a mistake the first time, but then he continued to play the same way, and then that led to a second mistake? Do you think that with all the benefits that come to these kind of goalkeepers, there's a little bit of a drawback that they don't change in a particular game?
Well, I mean, let's be real here. I mean, people that play ball playing and everything, you have to be really good on the night and everything. It's really hard for a goalkeeper. That's why Ederson makes mistakes. That's why you see sometimes De Gea makes mistakes. It happens. But I think this is one of the first times I've seen Alisson, especially in a crucial moment of the season. I mean, to be fair, I mean, based on the results and everything, right? How we were approaching Brighton, especially the smaller teams, we actually haven't won against any of like the so-called smaller sides apart from Sheffield United. That says a lot, really. And to be fair, we're very fortunate to have the record we have. I mean, before this game of winning against all the top six sides, this is the first time we've this season in the league that we lost against a top six side. If it was a continuous run and everything that Alisson's making mistakes and all that, I would worry. But obviously, and again, he deserves the mistakes, deserves the criticism. But what I will want to say as well, and for a very long time, it's been happening, the way we attack, because tactically wise, we are afraid to really go at people. What we tend to do is whenever we have the ball and we want to fastly break into things, and I understand the reason why you don't want to always do that is because you leave yourself exposed in the back. However, in certain situations, you should want to challenge that. You don't want to stop all the way and then after that let those players come back and everything for them to make meaningless crosses into the box and then had the ball, because that's just more difficult. And especially with Ruben Diaz and John Stones, who are in form, how do you expect to put
Yeah.
this? Yes, we have, like, what is it? Sadio Mane made a run, and he could have done better on the night, and we had a couple of those things. But again, you need to make that urgency. You had those runs before, last season where, you know, given a lot of spaces, especially against Man City, and you're able to do it, right? Uh, and especially, like, it's been shown as well before, like, what we did right last season and what we did right this season. And we're just stopping too much, and we're fiddling right, and not making those concise passes. So it's, again, like, when your defense is poor, you should be better attacking wise. But we just, apart from maybe the Spurs game, I mean, you can say about West Ham, but we scored one goal, and that was the reason why we were able to mount more attacks. But you know, that's the thing. And I know I passed the question of the Alisson thing, but yeah, I just wanted to state that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was watching the game with a couple Liverpool fans. We all noticed the same thing that Liverpool's attack is the build-up is so slow, and it's a stark contrast from say last season. And yeah, building on to that, I want to ask you about Thiago. Like I know he's not been in the best of environments. He hasn't been able to play with the midfield that he was brought in to play with. For example, Henderson, Fabinho. But with the personnel he's been playing with, I just feel like he's contributing to the slowness of the attack. What would you say about that?
No, I think it's the other players, actually, to be quite honest. Like, look, I think, yes, he does deserve criticism, in terms of maybe doing that. But I've seen the way he passes as well, and I'm like, you know what? If the other players have an urgency, I'll give you an example as well. The Brighton game, Thiago made a brilliant pass to Firmino, but where was his urgency to come and attack the ball, for example? And that's what I mean by, in terms of, like, urgency with all the players. They don't have the urgencies to want to penetrate going forward. If you don't have that incentive at times, and I understand, once again, I understand that you will be susceptible to the counterattacks, but we do have enough of the midfield personnel to not allow that. And we should be more penetrative. You look at the way Raheem Sterling went at us as well. Yes, they have a slow way, but they have very technical midfielders as well. And Raheem Sterling is not afraid to make those types of runs going forward. You know what I mean? Where are those runs from our players as well? The only player we saw that made a run like that is Mohamed Salah. And Sadio Mane, I love the guy as well. But again, and to be fair, a lot of players are coming back from the injuries and whatnot. But again, it's more about that urgency, and it's more about how you want to build your way up. And you know what? Fair play to City on the night, because they had that urgency. Even after the penalty they missed, which I don't know why they have a horrible record against us when it comes to penalties, but the way they reacted in the second half was mad.
Madness.
It was mad, and they were up for more. They looked like, you know what, we learned the mistakes from the beginning of the season where we didn't have that urgency either. We had problems as well, but you know what they did. They worked on it and they improved, and it was a slow process for them to get back into that rhythm, but they did it. And that's the thing about Man City as well. Of course, last season they kind of had an off season for them. And they're definitely coming back, and they're showing why they have been prevalent and very dominant in the Premier League for a very long time. And whether or not they'll do well in the Champions League, that's for another discussion. But the way they defend now, it's good signs for them.
Yeah, definitely. Their defensive record has been amazing. Them as a whole, they look like they're cruising to the title, even though it's pretty early. But I don't see any team that's gonna match their consistency. And I guess my next question to you would be, what do you think Liverpool's aspirations are for the season moving on? What do you think will be a realistic goal to aim for?
I mean, realistically speaking, I look at it this way. I mean, it's kind of sad that at the end of the season we're not going to win everything, and I understand, look, injuries and whatnot, sure, but despite all that, you look at some of the other big teams out there, even with Man City as well. They last season, they haven't been the best of form and whatnot, but they still managed to win trophies. Why can't despite our problems and everything, go and compete to them. And that's the thing as well between the two sides, you know. And again, Man City, it was a work in progress for them, and they have bumps and slides as well. But they got to a point where they were able to do it on the off. And what we need to do is compete, at least compete for this season. We still have the Champions League left, and I mean, we're not probably going to win it, but at least show some pride. Show some pride for us as fans to push forward, you know. And I've seen Liverpool sides before that were pretty, you know, they're not the caliber of what we have right now, but they're still able to mount a good Champions League run. You know, I've seen that so many times before, especially the infamous 2005 Istanbul run as well. So will it be something like this? I don't even know. I don't know, but what we need to do now as a team is to rebuild their confidence. You know, fans need to be patient. They need to work the way up. The two center backs we did get, they're not like immediate fixes. They're also work in progresses. You know, like Ozan Kabak, and Ben Davies. They're both work in progresses at the end of the night. They're not like, okay, they're gonna fix our squad right away and we're gonna come back
Yeah.
yet again. And I like that. I like when you have a long term process, and if things don't work out as well, I mean, they're low risk, you know, purchases as well. So like, I mean, I feel bad for Quebec though because he only has 6 months to prove himself in like a short amount of time. I mean, if he doesn't show any promise, then he's gonna get shipped back to Schalke, which again, huge pressure on him. But yeah, I mean, it's so difficult with the amount of fixtures that are coming up. But again, we squandered a lot of the games that we should have won, and you know, we can't really say like, okay, well, we can't really say that, okay, well, we didn't have the chance and opportunities. No, we do have the chance and opportunities to capitalize on the small games, and now we have the big games when we're not confident, you know. And it's gonna be another like run of like hurt and, you know, like that. But you just gotta persist as a fan. Everybody goes through shit like this, you know. And if you actually watch Liverpool from the past decade as well, you know that it's not even the worst of it. It's just because we're in a certain position now that it seems like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it is really bad. So yeah, is there any more questions you have, mate?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear you. Just to round off, I'd say your thoughts on Manchester City. Is the title race done in your opinion, or is there a team that you think can catch that still?
Mathematically speaking, it's not finished. Based on the form and based
Mm-hmm.
on the way they approach games as well. Like, bear in mind, like City are not the. It's a reinvigorated City side, right? And I know people tend to question Pep on like, okay, you know, he can't do it with like low budget and everything. But whenever he gets the budget to build teams and whatnot, apart from the Champions League, really, he achieves and he competes in the biggest of competitions every time. That's why he's in those positions in the first place. I think it's quite ridiculous that people tend to
Yeah, for
criticize
sure.
him heavily and whatnot. I think he does deserve criticism when things are going wrong, rightfully so. And I mean, the Champions League, yes, you can criticize him on that as well. But to criticize him as a whole, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And he's showing a new side of him that, you know, like instead of just attacking and being like that, you know, come back as like a full force in terms of the defensive end as well.
Yeah.
Tracking back and everything. That's something we did before, but now we're starting to be lazy with that as well. So, you know, those things. And do I think Liverpool will come back eventually? Yeah, of course I do. Because you never know what could happen next season. You know what I mean? So we
Yeah.
just gotta ride this wave and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But again, fair play to Man City. They deserve the win. Any banter that we get deserved. I can already see the memes in my head right now. Quite honestly, genuinely. I'm already counting. All right, twice,
Yeah, they're coming, bro. They're coming.
twice. Well, Alisson, the Carius memes. Like, great. I could see it, fam. But for me, anyways, and for any Liverpool fan right now, I mean, to be honest, I would feel like any Liverpool fan would be. I wouldn't blame them for being pissed off. I was more pissed off of, first of all, Brighton
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Aston Villa over this game, to be honest, because we were actually expected to lose, but the manner of way we lost is just it's unacceptable, even if we do have a stripped squad.
Yep. All right, guys. There was nice hearing from Thivian. Cheers to him for showing up after the game, even though it was a tough result. And hopefully, we'll see him in future games as well, after games. Take care, Thivian.
Yeah, wait. I do want to say as well. I mean, I did claim that when we did lost, it was gonna be one of the most viewed videos. At least give me that. Give me some. Give me some sort of
Yeah,
victory.
guys. We gotta share this video. We gotta get clips. We gotta make sure this goes viral.
All right.
Yeah, that's the least we can do, yo.
All right. Y'all take care.
All right, take care, man.